All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. This time, I have no idea exactly how to lead this one in. This one was a bit odd and out of place. I decided to actually record in a different area, and in a different area of outside, basically. Instead of being in the shade, I decided to be in my front yard. And that I will soon come to regret, and you will all see that. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here. This is kind of one of my failures so far, but even your failures will teach you a lesson. So yeah. As we go on, you'll actually see a bit of a set change, lighting change, and all that good stuff. But it was kind of worth it. By the end, I actually did appreciate the inking stage that I'm doing now, as well as the painting stage that I go into a little later. Unfortunately, you don't get to see most of that because, again, the sun overheated my camera and almost made this video impossible to make. And I say almost, and not really impossible. I could have done it, but yeah, that's kind of how this ended up going. So yeah, that's the context for the video. And for me, the past couple of days, I have been all over the place. And honestly, it's been really hard to get this video properly created simply because of that. Everybody's been saying that I've been juggling too much, or I've had too many hats on, which I've never really heard somebody refer to someone who has multiple things going on at the same time as having multiple hats on. But that's a nice analogy, and I appreciate that. And I can probably justify it and blame it on that and say that this video was because this video explains a little bit of that. But I really shouldn't. And that kind of goes into the video's title. Honestly, you just need to see more. Sight beyond sight, see past what you already see. I'd like to go into that a little bit more, but at the time, I don't feel that I actually need to. Not as much as I should. But one thing that I did want to try out was different color combinations. So as I go on, I end up using brown. Well, a lot of different stages of brown, I should say. And then I use the complements of green and red together. Which, if you use them right, green and red actually end up making brown. So it worked to a certain extent. And right now I'm starting to use some of the yellow ochre, because yellow ochre is a very nice mid-tone, I should say, between the skin tone that I really want and what actually ends up happening in the process. And unfortunately, you don't get to see that part. It was disappointing. But as we skip to the, I actually don't know what to call this part, just the time lapse, basically. I decided to record this in my office, and yeah, the skin turned out a lot better than I thought, especially after I added a lot more of the yellow ochre, which I'm doing now. And I didn't find the balance for the yellow ochre as well as the overall brown tone that I wanted until a little later. And by a little later, I mean like 2 minutes from now. It worked, but it's just something felt off for me. But I do appreciate the green that I added here. And once I added the green, the complement color that I wanted to add came in, which was the red. I didn't actually have red in my mind the first time I did this, but I liked it. And then I actually referred back to my color mixing Bible, because that book is invaluable, especially right now since I'm trying to learn more color a little bit more. It actually reminded me that the complement to red was green and vice versa. So once you mix those two together, you actually would end up getting this particular shade of brown that I used. I didn't notice this until after I finished recording, but I appreciated it nonetheless. And now that the hair didn't actually, now that I'm looking at it, the hair doesn't actually make much sense. But and I'll explain that later. Well, actually, I don't know how to explain it. We'll figure that out later. So now I'm just adding more of the finishing touches. I actually messed up and got a little spot of green on there, but I'm alright with that. So here is the red. We are adding in I don't know what I want to call this, the crackles of red, or the I'll say crackles of red just for lack of a better word. And I do like the little liner that I used, the little bit of red liner that I ended up using. I like that. That was after the fact, even though some of that actually should have been planned, but you can't plan for everything. And as we start to get ready to wrap up, I actually ended up mixing the green and the red to make the brown that you see on the nose. And I really liked it. I didn't define the nose as well as I should have. The way I should have blocked off the nose didn't work in the best way possible. But once I actually added the shading under the nose with that combination of red and green, it did work. But I felt by the end, I felt that I could have improved it a little bit more. But that's kind of how this all goes. And so, as we begin to wrap up just a little bit, I want to thank you all for watching. So far, this is kind of it. But yeah, I actually am going to be producing a couple of more of these in the future. But as of right now, it's going to be a bit of a while. So until the next video, which I'm actually going to talk about a book I'm reading. It's called The Alchemist. I love it. Until next time, everyone, I will catch you all later. And remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who actually would like it and all that good stuff. And tell me what you like about it in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you later.